Alright, what's the time? The time is now. No, PM. 11. Wait. Don't know why. Hanging on. Oh. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. Thanks. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. Huh? I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want. Yes, even if you're not the correct time, you've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Thank you. I did boot it up just to check the sound. It's a funny game, this one. I've only played that very, very shortly. Just to see how it is. Can you actually press the buttons? No, you can't. Look at this funny little computer thing. Alright, begin the game. Loading. Some guy's gonna talk a lot.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk. Tell him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
The time is wrong. Doesn't work. Yes. Hello? Doesn't work. It's locked. This cupboard sounds like a computer.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Who's talking? A pen. Where's the apple? Oh. Turned off. Okay. Nope. Ooh, painting. Mountain. Outside is very sunny. Or whatever. You can't jump. That's too bad. Nope. What's the meeting room? Their name. Access. Something, something, something. You can't even... Nope. This way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No!
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
This doesn't work.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
I can't sit there.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Suckers.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
But I can't go back now.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Oh no.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very
Employee
powerful.
of the year. Loading. No. We're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Who said that? Hey, do party? Beep. Groundhog Day.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is boring. Should have gone on the other one. The wrong one again.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Who's reading that? Let it ball up inside to using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure the slide has a click blue graphic in the header and there is some bevel on the... Everyone is unique. You must, most of all. Okay. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parrot. What? A parrot? Monetize free to play. Okay. Oop. What's up there? Is there like a turn off button? You can actually select jump. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Rip France. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda. Items write next day's agenda. Refleet. Refleet? Okay. Oh, then it starts over. Don't get fired. We'll try. Oh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Touch everything. Is this where Walter Wright?
No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
This gotta be Walter White's secret stash. Are you sure? Maybe if you look...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Extremely.
He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with,
I was touching everything. Shut up.
As he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Go here. One car. How did it get in here?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
No!
His boss would think he was crazy.
The coffee.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself 69. To wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin. the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Until
I am okay.
no.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yes.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But
Who is
on
she?
this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Control Alt Delete. No? Doesn't this red light mean I have a message?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did we do that?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Boink.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section,
Wow,
walked straight
what's
ahead
this
to
button
the
do?
opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office.
No.
He wanted to wander about and get
me
even
out.
further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly...
Open.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
What? Car. That's a car. What's with the car? With the car keys. Whoa.
No. This isn't right
What's
at all.
this?
We're not supposed to be here yet. This is all
Surveillance.
a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Jump.
Okay.
Jump.
Okay.
What's this?
We just have to get back to, Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Fired!
Whole story
Someone's
completely
fired!
unusable.
No!
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
No!
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
104 was fired.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh,
Hello?
did something change?
What's there?
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
What
you
monitor?
move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah,
Was
come
right
on.
here just a minute ago.
Dude.
I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Everything is open. Look at this. No, I don't wanna. I'm curious. Where's everything? Can I go left? See? Wait back again. I know
I'll
where.
say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No. Come on.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yeah.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wasn't his desk empty before? Dude. Let's ruin it. Ruin it! Ruin it all.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yes. Thank you. I missed being here. Yay. Look. Office.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oops, behind this. Oh. Someone spilled tar here. What?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
I won!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Way!
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this
Come
at
on.
all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and
What?
square, and this was not one of those situations.
What's my...
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
No! I want to win again!
All
The
right.
Stanley
I've got a
Parable
solution.
Adventure
This
Line.
time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
You have to turn
follow
off the
line.
computer.
How simple is that?
The desk... Yeah, see. Look at this. There was a computer here. It's gone. How did we? What is the other room? You're wasting energy. Turn them off. Can I? Come on. 7 goes on 8. 3 on 4. No. Get me out. Jump, jump! I can jump! Or I can,
You
something.
see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley,
Whee!
to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
How can you do
You know
this?
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Don't look into the light. Is this a horror game? That's freaky. Wait. Yo, stop the music. No. Wait. What was that?
Wait, cut the music.
Thank you.
Go back
Oh.
and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure
What's a
you
fern?
study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Is this a... Look at this. Huh? There was a hallway here.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ding dong. Yes. Why are you here?
Oh, no. No, 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 not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this
104.
anymore. To hell with
Tired.
it. Restart.
Tired.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Do it.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I forgot what we are doing. We're supposed to find something.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Hello? The Oval Office.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And
the right door be the right answer.
Yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Hey. Deviate from maintenance room, end up in monitor room, narrator restarts the game, first restart. Discover the two doors room.
It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the
Kinda
game
confusing.
eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Narrator gone. After a long time, Stanley dies. What? No!
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Screenshot it.
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really...
Deteriorate.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
How's the buttons on a chair?
Will something happen?
Can I get a cup of coffee?
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
The narrator is gone, and I attempt to do something, wasn't it? Yes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There we go again.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh no. This is different. Awaiting input. Input received. Input some more. Only I can read that. Ah. I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Look, all the paintings. Meeting!
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh no.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Boss's office, where are you?
Coming
Let's
to
try
a
and do this.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Light! Boss's office. Executive. Bathroom. Ooh! Extreme bathrooms. Something, time. Can I flush? No. To be rich is a crime. To be rich is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Okay. Weird. Hello, secretary. Can I... The beige pages. Business time. Oh, holy. That's kind of violent. Business strategy. What? I saw that. I saw that!
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Step into the light.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Was that fireworks?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
But at that moment, this machine failed.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Narrator. Oh, look. The outside. Wow.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? No. Office layout. This is where we start. The first office. What's the break room? Why can't I jump? Filing cabinets. Wow. Get me. The office. Button sounds. Ooh, computers. Installing Chart Pro 2.1 program files. Chart Pro something. Oh, this is an employee database. Loading employee data. Password, we don't know. Is this how it ends? Office. Maintenance room. Copy. What is this? Credits. Is this how it ends? Who's the narrator? Dude, model design, original artwork, original music, sound design, additional music, additional voice work, Wesley Staples, Aviva, Pinchas, Jenny Cochran, and the impeccable Kevin writing as the narrator. Kill. Is this all the game is? The game. I want to go back to the office. There was something I wanted to see. Can we go again? What is this? This is the other way.
Stanley pushed the orange lever. Let's see. Stanley walked through the green door. Stanley pushed the big red button. Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you?
The early version of the underground portion of the game. Okay, sofa. This is very interesting. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. The what? Countdown desk. What? I didn't go there. swear. Do it again. No! I'm lost. Ending. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the sending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Thank you. Levers. Ooh, art installation. Okay, I'm lost. Get me out. Exit. Now what? We just walk around? Two, 1, 0. Oh. Did we? There was an exit sign somewhere. Ooh, fun. Warzone. Okay. Where do we go here? Where's the exit? Can I go back? What if I go back? Can we go back? Does going back even exist? Is this even real? What am I doing here? Why is it dark? Maybe that's what we are supposed to do, go back. Look, exit. Stanley
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can
Nope.
you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
See? You can never die. It just keeps on.
Were gone. What could
Meow.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey, did you get the memo? Did you put your thing in the TBS report?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room.
There's
Please
button noises.
take your
I like it.
time.
Alright. I was upstairs,
Coming
right?
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Boss's office. Is the toilet still there? Yeah. Well, I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. What does this? I can't read that. Who cares? Bye.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing
What could
through
it
papers
mean?
on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
No.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Now what? Now what?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Hi. I saw this before.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Cigarette butts. Why? Oh. There's no computer.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes, but how? How does everything work? Oh. Buttons! One, two. Four. This is 5. Three. What's 4? Over there. Okay. 1, 2. 3. Come on. Get away. Look it up there. Dude. It's number 4. Press the button. What are you? No. You can't jump. What are you hiding over here? Nothing? Waiting for input. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that?
This don't work.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
There's 3 attempts remaining.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yes.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it
where were they?
It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
420. This is not the right way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Still here.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
No.
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Darkness.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Why? Why?
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on
Going
fantastic
crazy.
adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Why am I stuck here?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even
Multiple
mattered
choice.
what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Will it prepare dinner? What if I'm actually
As
hungry?
he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he
What?
called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here. Watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Should we do it? Am I going crazy?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
You see what I see.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose.
How do I get
The
to
same
these
as
file
Stanley. We're not so
tablets?
different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh, we broke it, finally. The end is never the end, is never the end.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Must be then. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Show me! It's gotta be something new. No, no! Hello? Look, stuff! Hey!
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe,
Hey.
a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Home computers.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley
More.
Parable, delighting audiences the world
Happy
over.
face.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very
Yes.
excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Where is it? Show me.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken?
Hello?
What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready.
So
Let's
exciting.
do it.
Yes!
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Yes! Let's see it! Wow!
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can jump! Yes! Best game ever. To unlock something cool. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Are you dizzy? 3, 2, 1. Jumping circle. New content. That was it.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else,
You
right?
actually can't jump in the game. But in the controls, you can set like spacebar to jump. But you actually unlock a Steam achievement that says you can't jump.
Another
We removed
elevator.
it.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yes.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours
Do it.
of new content right there. Hell,
Wow.
I could counter 30 trillion.
Do
You
it.
could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, more
I
jumping.
knew there had to be something else. Let's see it.
Box,
I'm
a
ready
chair,
for whatever it is.
fall to death. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
What's Twitter?
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Well, I had no choice, so. I have to. What's this now? Whoa, the immersion. Wasn't there an open door here? What's the storage room?
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Coffee nut.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can
Still
relive
can't
the
jump.
peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow, memory zone. Nice.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the
Nope.
game originally launched? Back then, video
It's a
games had
Steam
integrity.
page.
Back
The
then,
Stanley
it all
Parable.
meant something. Oh, the waste.
This is great. What is this? The Stanley Parable. Independent Games Festival Audience Award. British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Award to Stanley Parable. Okay. Our first quest, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. 2013. Is this Stanley? I don't know. Wow. Buy on Steam. Good times. Look at all these. Wow, the 2 doors. The table. The museum. The door with 420. We actually look at that. Let's begin again. A TV machine. Smile because it happened. Trip down memory lane. Money that's worthless now. We don't tell them. Demonstration. Begin the demo. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play it for 5 years. 5 years or 5 hours? 5 years. Whoa. Today. The woman lady. I swear I hear Oh, nice. In loving memory of little Stanley.
Dans la mémorisation, c'est cela
Get your nut on.
And over
Not really
here
anybody
is
was
where I
to
keep
accept this one.
reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them.
Skyrim.
And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ooh. Ooh. This is a Portal. Minecraft. Let's begin again. On, off. There is person of the year. Yeah. Ew, it's a Mac impersonation. You can get it on DVD. ROM.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Oh, thank you. What about this door?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I
Yeah, what?
wouldn't
Oh.
give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Reviews.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Not recommend.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Can we drive this one? Push the buttons. Nope. What kind of dystopia is this? No! Don't criticize my weird game that I'm playing. This one's upside down. Read this one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Reviews.
I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I ought. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
It's 3 minutes.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley.
It's dark. Why is it dark?
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. Oh... Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Why don't we have a door?
I've had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me do...
Where's my door? He died. No one watered the plant. Seriously. Shut up. Change the battery! Please, someone.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their...
Door? Hello? Do it. Do it. Do it.
The end is never the end, 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 is never...
There must be like a door. Someone should fix that. You know? Jesus. Hello? Does the button still work? Oh, the sun. Isn't that nice? We still can't get out, right? Ugh. This is trippy. If only I could jump, I could get out. Let's reset. Dinosaurs. No! The nice plants. We can get out. We're free. We're in Utah. Or whatever. Who cares? I don't know. Run. How far can we go? We made it. We're free. No water. We don't know how we survive. To press the button again. Probably do. That's awful. I was nearly there. Oh, thank you. Oh, we have to keep. Oh shit. Oh shit. Thank you.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Input. Thank you. New content. Wait.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
How long do we do? Do we keep going? An hour and a half now.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow. Investor showcase.
Isn't this far superior to a
Then it's
measly
never the end
re-release with a few
again.
minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Look at this. The back 2 doors. New content is out. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old plus busted. New hotness. Let's just keep on going. How far down this rabbit hole can you actually go? The Stanley Parable. Oi.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out.
Took the red
Game
marker.
development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
No. Expo hall. Wow. Where's the popcorn? No? Okay. Wait. New features. Wow! Look at this! A bucket!
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Reassurance bucket. No. Hey, your name in the game. 222. Oh, great.
For the Stanley
No.
Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Name is Jim. Jeff.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine you're... All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get
No.
out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
What's the door? Thank you. Why are these so big?
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Please, no screenshots. No screenshots. A whole new office. Red is the new orange. Look at those. They actually put that in. Colleagues! Wow, and he's turning. This looks like some other game. You are here. Oh, great. K. What's K? Oh my god, I have to walk so far. Colleagues. Stanley Parable. What's down here? Free achievement. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
No.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel.
Well, fix
To at
it!
last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers,
Well,
we
push
hear
all the
you,
buttons.
and I promise it will happen.
I'm gonna... Can I... How do you power this thing? What's with all the cars? Oh. That's to be the most exciting game ever.
What else? What other
Colleagues.
exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Can we find them? Ooh.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Thank you. Thank you. Collect them all. What's the next one?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Wait, was there more? What's the exit? Exit. Get it here. Participation award. Oh.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Merch. We went here, we went there. Epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
That's it? No. What's this? Settings world champion. Thank you. Infinite hole. What's the infinite hole? This sounds exciting. There it is.
Stanley,
wow.
Here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
What if I don't want to? We'll just reset. Don't fool me. Falling. Science, more. Space, depth, more hole. Hole, infinite hole chart. Great. It just keeps going. No. I drink the water. Exit. Alright, we're leaving. I'm leaving! Jump circle.
Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay?
Where's the bucket?
All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Free achievement. We got that. Jump circle. And what's a jump circle? The bucket. Bucket? Merge setting world. E2. That's I can't figure this one out. This doesn't make sense. C. Merge. What's the merge? Bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
there's no bucket.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I want a Steam unlock for this. Exit. Get me out of here. Stupid bucket. We're getting closer to Stanley.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Nope.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow. It's an achievement.
Well, I mean, there's
You can
potential
jump.
here, right? It's
Gimme.
sort of... Okay, never
Bucket.
mind. Hold on. Let
How
me
do I
do
get
a
down there?
different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything
miss
to
my
create a
office.
sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look. This is the...
Nej. No. Stupid
All of his
balloons.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Shut
Perhaps
up.
he had simply missed a memo.
Shut up. Voices. You need input? No. Off.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh my
Yet there was
god.
not a single person here either.
Wait.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Right, boss's office. Now what?
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
the same code every
Stanley
time.
happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
If we restart again, I'm
The lights
gonna
rose on
finish.
an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This never ends.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
It's beautiful.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And then he woke up at his desk. And then we continue. Beat the game! Seriously? That was it? No!
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you.
Run!
Have a pleasant day.
I didn't touch anything.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
It's just you and me now, Bucket. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, but no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left, to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
We can find them. Will be a reward.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wait.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Knew it.
This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I'm good at this. Do we have one more? What's this? Jesus, this just goes on and on and on. Just press the same button. Is there another figurine? No. Oh god.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yes.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Come on. I was gonna finish. What happened? I blame the bucket.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
The bouquet residence.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word, but of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
How does the bucket live?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Could have gone the other way.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's fine, bucket. Don't you worry.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible
Why
power
doesn't this
over another
door
human
open?
life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Yeah,
Two
come on,
best
bucket.
Friends,
Let's do it.
Stanley and the bucket
Let's
up
end this.
against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about
Honk.
taking down the system.
I need more figurines.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Hello?
Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
It's a console.
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
All right. Figurine finding committee. Meeting today in the meeting room. All right. Let's head. We can keep on going forever and ever and ever. So I think we're gonna quit for now. So until next time, maybe we do more Swift and stuff. This was kind of funny and quite clever and quite what do you call it? It's simple, but the story just keeps going. It's new and new and new and new and new. I kind of like it. It gets a bit boring, maybe, in the long way. So, until next time, bye bye, see you later, and peace out. This was fun. I like it.